particularly in the motorcycle space, I've totally noticed some guys can have like complete street takeovers, ride wheelies on highways at 80 miles per hour, 160 miles per hour, 180 miles per hour, doing wheelies, whatever, and nothing happens to their content.
Look, I was tired of being afraid all the time, not knowing why, sleepless, waking up terrified. I was tired of living in the past in fear. I had to change. Now I know, no matter how much I do change, I am left with me.
And just some talk on internet creation, I guess. Motorcycle cleaning your chain is pretty damn easy. I don't know. I'd rather just actually talk about something else while I do this. So I guess I'll give a background on my stream about what I do here on this YouTube channel, and I'm trying to lighten things up a little bit in the motorcycle community. That's kind of what I want to be doing anyway. And I've been a content creator for quite a while. I used to stream on Twitch. I streamed on Twitch for like 15 years. A long time. All I ever did was play like League of Legends and stuff like that. And it never really amounted to anything. So I'm moving into the YouTube space. And it's not good. It's not good. The competition against AI is going way out of kilter. Like there's content creators doing some mad stuff on YouTube. And I'm trying to do the things, but as I move on with trying to do content and stuff like that on YouTube, there's an expert pretty much for everything. There's an expert pretty much for everything on YouTube. So it's kind of, one of those situations. But when it comes to content creation and stuff, I mean, I've done a fair bit of it, quite a lot of it over the years. Very long time. Started out as a web developer, and I'm not happy with this, so I'll just do it here. A little bit of spray. Then I'll let it sit for a few minutes after it does the thing. Smelly stuff. But yeah, it's my YouTube channel's doing all right, and it seems that YouTube likes to just juice up the shorts, because they know that they're not going to pay you out on shorts, right? They're just going to pay you up on the videos. So it's kind of becoming a thing there, and the views that you get, I would say on YouTube right now is shit. It's actually not even good. I mean, parts of me is like, maybe I should just go back to streaming on Twitch. Like, no joke. It's, I mean, I don't expect to launch a channel and have it like bust out all crazy good and, everything's badass, like, straight up cool. I don't really expect that. I know growing a YouTube channel is a little harrowing sometimes. And you guys have been paying attention, or at least some of the people that have been following me for a while. I mean, even my music channel, for example, that thing's just doing nothing. I've been working on this music channel for like 8 months. 8 months now, over 300 tracks, all original music. Nothing. I used a little bit of AI, of course, in some of the music and the composition, but overall, my riffs, my sound samples, my effort, my AI generated artwork, and some artwork of my own. You'll see some of the covers, motorcycle riding and stuff like that, I just don't think I have much to really offer the motorcycle community too much. I don't think so. Which is, kind of a hard place to be. But damn, I love riding bikes. I really love riding motorcycles a lot. That's why I haven't really been streaming on Twitch at all. It's largely because, I mean, I found a calling with getting back into motorcycle riding. I can't stand it. I love riding all the time. I ride every single day, and it's just I don't know if it's an addiction or anything like that, but you know, I certainly feel a lot more accomplished just riding around on a motorcycle and thinking about shit all the time. And it's been eye-opening, you know, because it takes me offline, and I'm seeing the world. I'm getting out on these hills and stuff like that, and riding and stuff, and just really having a great time doing all of that. And it's an eye-opening experience. So I'm like, you know, well, I want to, you know, still continue doing content creation, and you know, I guess I should just continue making content for me at this point, just just maybe to stroke my own little fragile ego or something, because when it comes to content creation, I mean, when you make a video, there's a certain work path that you get into, and you like to edit, and you got to add text, and you got to do the cuts. But you know, with AI making it faster and faster, you know, some of you guys can sit and say, well, you know, all you have to do is you know, just start using the AI more and everything. And yeah, maybe you're right. If I could just hand it a file, you know, and it'll cut it up perfect for me and everything like that, that'd be great. And I'm sure that time is coming. There's no doubt. I'm gonna push up here a little bit. I'm gonna make sure all that spray gets in there really, really good. There. But maintaining the bikes, doing the chaining, cleaning. This is probably like my third time I've cleaned the chain and stuff. Since I've returned to motorcycle riding, I've got about, I don't know, probably about 800 miles in already. For you guys that don't know, I rode motorcycles when I was younger, in my 20s. So I went through the fast boy phase, you know, for quite a while. I probably shouldn't have survived. To be totally honest, I probably not should have survived that. But I got through my 20s raging on highways in the Bay Area, and I was just doing whatever, and that was probably some of the best times of my life. And then one day I just stopped riding and forgot about it. And it's been a kind of a lot of fun getting back on the bike and getting into it, really, really into it. And I thought, well, you know, I'm a content creator. I can make a YouTube channel and it'll go fine. And, you know, 5 views, 6 views. And it's like, you know, what am I doing this for? Why? What's the point? There's like not much point in like creating YouTube content anymore. It's an industry unto itself, sure, but it's not like small people doing it anymore. You know what I mean? There's entire ad companies and marketing companies and stuff like that just ripping content out in every way, shape, or form. Bots, you know. And then not only that, when you post a video on YouTube, well, when they post a video on YouTube, they're using the full cycle. So they're using fake views, they're using click bots, they're buying viewerships, you know, and in some cases they're even, you know, pushing it through advertising. And it's like, where is this all going? You know, where are they really going to take this? How far are they going to take this? You know, it's crazy. You know, some people say adapt or die, adapt or die. I've worked on the internet all my career. It's always been adapt or die. So, not a... Hey, just starting a channel is so painful, man. It's so painful. And, you know, I'm not going to be able to compete with the fast boys and stuff like that. You know, to me, writing is a lot more... it's not about going fast. To me, it's about controlling the machine and weaving with the machine and working with the machine and stuff. You know, if you're just jamming down in a fast lane and everything, you're not exploring the full potential of the machine you're riding. I'm not going to lecture people on how to ride because there's 50 million other people already doing that. So where do I stand out? So I'm making like funny videos, comedy videos, you know, and anything that I just kind of feel like putting together, that's that's kind of what my YouTube channel is going to be all about. It's just putting videos together, and I don't know, if I feel like being funny, I'm going to be funny. If I want to make a kind of a little guide on something, I think I'll just make a guide. I don't see any other route really per se here, you know, for what I want to do. I just don't see it, you know. This is a rather extensive cleaning, but I don't see a venue other than, you know, just kind of produce the content that I like. And if I get 5 views, fine, whatever. I don't know. It's just ridiculous. It's very ridiculous to be a content creator, especially if you're like somebody that takes pride in making the quality thing and not something just spit out by AI, you know. But the big deal is, ooh, that shit tastes nasty. The big deal is, I can make great content, and there was kind of a saying on the internet for a long time: you can make the greatest website in the world, but if nobody sees it, what does it matter? Well, that same thing is applying. That same concept is applying now in video content creation and social media, and it's so glutted. I mean, if you're just starting right now and you have no experience in creating content, don't even bother. Like, literally, don't even bother doing content creation. Seriously, don't even bother doing it. It's a waste of time. The way YouTube's rigged up and everything like that, you'll never get that sponsorship. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's just what it is. That's the way it's gonna be. That's the, you know, there's people thinking that they can make their living at home making videos all the time. And oof. And you know, I don't think so. You know, not unless they get involved with an ad agency and the marketing team and an advertising team and, you know, a video editor and a production editor and a script writer, and then of course a research director, because you need somebody to do research for open spots on YouTube, you know. So you got to keep your eye on the trending, you got to keep your eye on everything, you know, and that applies across the board, across all industries or all interests, let's just say, in all interests. It's wild. So where are we going? Where's this internet thing going? And I've been reading some pretty spooky statistics lately. Really, really uncomfortable statistics. Almost, I think it's like the internet is approaching some 40% of content online is now generated by an automated system. Automated systems. How many times am I going to say that? So automated systems, well, that means content generators are spinning, scheduling is going instant. It's just not getting anywhere. What I mean by that is, it's not getting anywhere. There's already 50,000 people better than I am doing it, and there's no room for it. And the thing is, the second thing that's kind of really bothersome, particularly in the motorcycle space, I've totally noticed some guys can have like complete street takeovers, ride wheelies on highways at 80 miles per hour, 160 miles per hour, 180 miles per hour, doing wheelies, whatever, and nothing happens to their content. Like, they get the green light. I go over a mile per hour on my little channel, shadow ban. Shadow ban, you know, and luckily I haven't done that yet with my content. You know, I'm not going to be endangering myself to make like cool content or something like that for people to watch. You know what I mean? That doesn't make much sense. There's people out there just, you know, do the whole reckless riding thing big time. And you know what? I love them guys too. I'm not gonna lie, I love them guys too. Jixerbra, Grind636, all them guys are freaking great dudes. Seriously, great guys. But they get a hall pass. It's like, what the hell, man? Like, they get a free hall pass on YouTube. It doesn't matter what they do. Fast lane gang. Content. I think somebody wipes out almost every gathering he goes to. Somebody's not hurt, something like that. And getting hurt on a bike is part and parcel of the whole sport. That's part of the thrill. There's a risk every time you get on these things. But, YouTube gives these people a free pass. They're totally allowed to do it. Don't matter. And anybody else that's smaller, anything smaller, even starting out, immediately. So I don't know what to make of that situation. That I ain't even got words for that. Other than, bullshit. It's just that thing. That's how the world works. Same thing happened same thing happened in the web development space, and I'd be in the web development side of things these days if I could. The thing is, there's nothing to gain in making a website anymore. There you go. It is what it is. So small-time developers and creators like myself, I'm working on video, I'm working on music, like riding the bikes, and I'm just trying to merge things together as much as I possibly can, doing what I like doing the most. But yeah, thank God riding is going to be able to actually be my off-ramp. You know what I mean? It's just like, what I mean by the off-ramp is that you could, it's just, I'm glad I've found something else to do besides that, as that tunnel narrows in web development, graphic design, social media posting, all the things, right? The ticket for prosperity and making even a dime in that, it's just going like this, okay? You're losing road. Just leave it to the nerds and the goons that are going to sit there with AI and produce their content, and follow the algorithmic, mathematicians, because the payouts are actually pretty high, for those handful of individuals that are, harnessing that and taking full advantage of the tools that are available in getting notoriety on social media. Why don't I do that? Because it's a genie out of the bottle. A genie out of the bottle being, the profit margin is still going to go down. Okay, and there's for many areas, I think, on the internet, there's just leaders in the content space, and those leaders are getting larger and larger, and underneath them are a whole fleet of other content creators. So let's just take Jixerbra as an example, right? Or a major content creator online in the motorcycle space, and basically everybody watches that. But he's at the top, and he's very good at creating the content, and he just does what he does. He got in early, has all the qualifications and everything like that. But underneath him is a whole army of dudes like me that get nothing. And we basically are just the funnels upwards to the leaders that are able to do the nooners and do, inhospitable law breaking online. Well, as if I even try and chase 10 o'clock on this thing, I'm shadow bound. It's ridiculous. I'm not shadow bound yet. I'm just saying that underneath these guys, though, everybody else, and Twitch did the same thing, kind of. So on Twitch, you have all the top guys, right? But for every top guy, there's 50 others, all right, that are just eating crumbs. But those 50 others have their own little communities that they're trying to beat the drums for. They peter out after a few months, and then that traffic that they drove to their thing just ends up funneling upwards, to their to the top leaders in a given segment. And YouTube's doing the same thing. Obviously, they're just trying to cycle all the content to the guys on the top. It sounds kind of defeatist, but that's what's happening. I think pushing the the fact on the matter doesn't make me a hater or sour grapes. I'm still going to make content no matter what. It's just frustrating as hell. Slight rant, I guess. And do we even need to talk about, you know, the chick writers and stuff like that have entered the space over the years? You know, like, yeah, so many gooners online, though. What are you going to do? I think this chain's about ready for the next dose here. We're going to lube it up, call this one a day, and wrap up this video. Well, just a little food for thought and stuff for what I'm trying to do online. And I guess what I'm doing online is pretty much for me at this point. That's just the way it is. But if you like the channel, you like what I'm doing, you see some of the other funnier stuff, you know, make sure to drop into the Mech149 music channel, drop into the Music That Rides channel, and then I have another little music channel that I'm working on, which is 2 of 20. I'll put some links and stuff like that down below for you guys and everything. And I'm going to be posting videos and doing my content as I go, you know, but there's no telling really where the road's going to go at this point. But I'm not a quitter. Not a quitter. So we'll just keep going. Peace out.